Welcome to Main Street Minds with your host, Amish Munshi. This is where industry leaders and seasoned pros share their secrets to success beyond limits. Let's dive in.
Hello and welcome to Main Street Minds. Today we have a very special guest, Josh White, over here with us. He's covering multiple states, and who better than Josh to tell us everything that's happening in the region. He's on top of what's going on in the market, and if you want to work with somebody that knows the market, takes good care of you, I would highly recommend working with Josh. But before we do any of that, I'm here to learn more about the local markets and, more importantly, learning more about Josh. So without any further delay, I'll open up the floor. Josh, introduce yourself. Tell us how you got started in real estate.
Yeah, so my name is Josh White. I'm with Coldwell Realty. I'm on a team with my wife, and that's how I got started. She's been licensed longer than I have, and I used to run a catering business out of our home and on mobile jobs, and she was a realtor. And once COVID happened, the catering business kind of came to a halt. So I needed a way to provide for the family. She knew I used to work construction. I have a passion for houses and remodeling. And yeah, she just kind of beat me down until I finally gave in and took the test. I'm glad she did, though. I love it. It's an awesome career I never would have thought I'd be in.
Yeah, and it kind of builds on top of the skills you had, right? The catering business is also a service business. So
Right.
just the customer service is the important part. So was it like a full service kind of like a kind of a full menu, or was it like cakes or something, or was it like an actual meal?
Yeah, so we did actual meals. We actually, I don't like to bake. There's too
Yeah.
much. You have to be too precise for that. I like to wing it a little bit, go by
Yeah.
taste. But yeah, we used to do pig roast, buffet
Oh, wow.
style, full sit down meals. Like we did a little bit of everything.
Oh, nice. So amazing food as well. So whenever you meet Josh, he will know a lot more about food in addition to the houses, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah. So tell us, like that was the beginning, and then like, was it easier to work with a family member? Is it like, what happens when both of you decide to take a vacation together?
Yeah, so it really does take a lot of patience with each other. I have visions, obviously, of going to one way with things. She has a different vision, but we complement each other. Like I like doing things like this, being in front of a camera, being out in front of the public. She's more of a I'd like to sit back and behind you keep things running behind the curtain. The
Yeah.
transactions, all of the stuff in the background. So that works really well. Vacation wise, we both just kind of you take the morning shift with the kids, I'll take the afternoon, and we just try to make it
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, with kids, it's always interesting, right? They create our schedule on what we can and cannot do.
Yeah.
So yeah, so how long have you been in business? Like, and tell us a little bit more about kind of the types of transactions you like to do.
Sure. I've this is my 6th year of being licensed. Licensed in Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. I love to work with sellers.
Hmm.
That's where my passion is. I like to be on that so I can go through hey, if you want this value out of your house, we really need to emphasize remodeling here, or maybe even just something as simple as fresh coat of paint. You know,
Hmm.
curb appeal obviously is huge, but I love the sellers. We do have a ton of buyers, and we actually just brought on a third agent,
Hmm.
brand new. Like he's only 2 months in, so we're
Yeah.
trying to groom him to help with our buyers and get him to take care of that side of it.
Sweet. Yeah. So the sellers are like, it's an interesting phase where most people stay in a house for about 5 years. Like, I'm stereotyping and averaging everything. Like, I'm sure most people don't. Like, but theoretically, statistic number is about 5 years.
Mhm.
So everyone that was buying a house in 2020, 2021 might be, they have been through a lot of bidding, not being able to get the house that they want, and now maybe they want a bigger house or a smaller house or a different house, and it might be that same seller who has been through a very difficult purchase phase and is looking at a normal, reasonable market right now. So how do you work with them? Like, what are some of the tips and recommendations you have for a seller? Like, how do you help them sell their house in today's market?
Yes. So the hardest part with sellers, especially repeat sellers that I did have during, that hot COVID market where things were just the Wild West, we're not there anymore. I have
Yeah.
to, make it realistic for them and say, hey, we're not going to list this house at top dollar and have 40 people blow through on the first day come in over ask. Those days are unfortunately gone. That was great to capitalize on.
Yeah.
But realistic, it's now going, hey, the market dictates like what somebody's going to buy for your house is where we need to be. I know
Yeah.
you can get your automated valuations from 20 different websites. Those aren't always accurate. Let's be real.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we go in with that market data and just really have a hard conversation with them of, I know what you want. Here's where I think we should be to try to get you as close as we can to that top dollar.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. So I think that the price is obviously one very important factor, and just knowing and pricing it right makes a huge difference in the whole experience of completing the transaction and having some satisfaction that everything went well. Like in addition to the sellers, do you also like I know you're also mentoring other team members to like come
Mhm.
in and like work with the buyers. Like tell us a little bit more about that. Like, are you recruiting even more agents? Are you mentoring more people?
Yeah, I'd really like to get our newest agent on his feet and start getting him producing at a regular level. And then, yes, we're absolutely wanting to recruit more agents and grow our team even more. That's a passion of mine. I love training. I love
Mhm.
teaching people skills that I've learned. I just think if we keep handing it down and sharing the wealth, it does us all better in the long run. Let's
Yeah,
don't gatekeep and keep secrets. Let's make
yeah.
everybody better at our job, and it makes our lives easier.
Yeah, and there's only so much that we can handle at any given time. There is work involved in selling or buying a house. There is just so much, just not just paperwork. Like there is so much to select, like deciding which is the right house. The perfect house for one person may not even be the right house for the other one. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
just
there's so much more in that buyer's transaction that people realize, you have to do all the showings. And then once you do get that home under contract, well, now we're doing appraisals,
mhm.
inspections. What do we want fixed, if anything? Now we're negotiating again.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more involved than people think. It's not just putting an offer in, signing a line and saying, congratulations, here's your house.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So you did mention right now the houses are sitting for a little bit longer. Is it the same between all the three states, or you're seeing differences between the states?
Yeah, so there's a little bit difference between the three states. I mean, I'm within a 20-minute radius of all three states I service, so I'm very
Mhm.
fortunate to be able to do that. But yeah, like in Southwest Ohio, the Cincinnati area, we're sitting at about 39 days on market is roughly the average, and then you go right
Yeah.
across the river into northern Kentucky, and we're almost equal. We're about 35-ish.
Okay.
But if you hit Southeast Indiana, we go all the way up to 55 to 65
Oh
days,
wow.
depending on the areas.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a drastic difference there.
Yeah, and tell us a little bit more about the dynamics, like who prefers to buy in India? Well, if you just have a buyer and it looks like the same metropolitan region, right? What would you recommend them? Uh, I'm sure there are like differences between the regions, even though it's the same metro.
Mhm.
But like, how does a person end up selecting a house?
Yeah. So if they want space and they want, we don't want to be in a neighborhood where we're right on top of each other or we're not
Yeah.
looking for that busy downtown style. I see a lot more people going to that Southeast Indiana side or even Northern Kentucky because there's
Mm-hmm.
more rural space. There's
Yeah.
just more open land out there
Mm-hmm.
and bigger lots. If somebody wants the urban side of things, we want to be in a really populated area where we have walkability, we have
Mm-hmm.
transit. I'm seeing a lot of the Cincinnati area and Covington, Northern Kentucky, Newport area, because it's literally a walk across the bridge to be
Mm-hmm.
from downtown Cincinnati to Newport. So
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense, and you still get all the benefits of being close to the similar neighborhoods where if you're living in a little more outdoor space, if you want that and you still want a city work environment, you can always just drive down and it's still close by.
yeah, in Southeast Indiana, just like if Lawrenceburg was a place they wanted to go, there's a casino in Lawrenceburg, so they can stay there and
Yeah.
have that kind of entertainment. But you're a 10-minute drive to the interstate and 30 minutes to downtown Cincinnati. So
Mhm.
you can still very much work in those, city environments and still have that rural enjoyment with just a half hour
Yeah.
drive.
Yeah, it's just perfect, right? So there's and even the landscape just varies so much. Like there is hills in certain places, there is flat open lands, there is farms in certain areas. It's a very uh, diverse landscape and availability of homes.
Yeah, 100%. There is definitely a, 10 minutes you're in farm country, and then now, get on the interstate and 15 minutes down the road, we're looking at a Bengal stadium, so
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So tell us a little bit more about you. Like, what are some of your hobbies? What do you like to do?
yeah, absolutely. So my wife and I are a blended family. We have 5 children together.
Sweet.
The 4 oldest are all boys, and the youngest is our only daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So they keep us busy, obviously. So
Yeah,
that's our first and foremost. That's our biggest hobby, is taking care of our kids. But
yeah.
after that, I coach a couple of their basketball teams. I generally love coaching. I used to do it with my father
Mm-hmm.
for 20 some years. I like to golf. Cooking
That's good.
obviously is a big passion with running the
Yeah,
catering business. That's fun to
yeah.
do. And then yeah, just sports in general. If there's sports on TV, I'm pretty much watching it.
Sweet, sweet. Yeah, that's how life should be, right? Like, and are any of your kids also into sports? Like, they
Yeah,
join you?
I've been very blessed to have athletic children. So every one of my kids has been in sports.
Sweet.
My oldest just graduated last year. He was huge into wrestling, went to state a couple times. Um, my next is a huge basketball nut. He loves
Mm-hmm.
it. And then I have my third is, I think he'll be a coach more than he wants
Okay.
to be a player, but he loves basketball and baseball.
Yeah.
And then the fourth one's a soccer guy. We're still in soccer right now. We qualified for the state tournament this
Sweet.
past weekend with his team. So here
Yeah.
comes cold weather soccer. And then my daughter, she's only 6, going to be 7 in February. So we're very much just trying them all out just to see
Yeah.
what we like.
Yeah, and I think the weather is like I was in Cleveland, so like relatively, I would say weather is much milder than Cleveland. Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
you get your snow just enough to like enjoy it, and doesn't bother the daily life with the snow.
right.
And the cold feels good.
Yeah, I think so. We're so close to Halloween, and we were speaking about this a little earlier. I think the last 2 to 3 years, it's snowed or freezing rain where
Hmm.
we're at for Halloween every year. So
Yeah,
this year will be a blessing for the kids to actually be able to not wear winter coats.
yeah. It's almost here, like 2 days away, and it's gonna be a lot of fun on Friday.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I always like a Friday event where it just feels somewhat more festive for some reason if the event happens on a Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody gets that day to just relax and recoup from the day before. We don't have to all go back to daily life the next day.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So as we kind of look forward, what is happening? What do you see happening in the next 5 to 10 years? Like, how do you see the market shifting? What is kind of what are you recommending your clients?
Yeah, so I think in the next 5 to 10 years, as far as the market goes, I think we're going to start seeing a huge influx of sellers that are needing to downsize.
Mm-hmm.
There's a huge generation of baby boomers out there that are
Mm-hmm.
empty nesters now, and they don't need all that space.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have your older people that have already downsized that unfortunately may need to go into assisted living facilities
Yeah.
or things like that. So I think there's going to be a huge transition into a lot of the assisted living. I
Mm-hmm.
think you're going to see a lot of those get built here.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's just going to be a lot of available property that is going to have a
Okay.
lot of equity in it, I think.
Yeah, yeah. So it's possible for people to sell. It's not going to be a distress sale. It's going to be reasonable market sale, and also the opportunity for buyers to step in and say, "Hey, I want this specific type of house," or "I want that bigger house that I can grow the kids and they can kind of have a good life."
Yeah, I definitely think the market will level out a lot by then,
Mhm.
and we'll see what everybody refers to as a normal market.
Yeah,
I don't think we're going to have the 2008 fallout like everybody
yeah,
thought we would, and then I don't think we're going to see that 0% interest rate type stuff with the COVID incident. I think we're going to
yeah.
see rates probably settle around like that 4 to 5% range, and
Hmm.
and everybody will get used to it again. We won't freak out and think it's the end of the world because it's not a two
Yeah.
percent interest rate. But yeah, I think everything will come back to normal, and I think you're going to start seeing a lot of availability of homes out there for those buyers.
Yeah, sweet, sweet. That's perfect. And so, and then going back to you, like, where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years? Like, are you kind of focusing more on the team building, or you love like serving the clients directly?
I'll never stop serving clients. I
Hmm.
love it. That's a part of it. I'll always still sell. I always want to be a part of it. I always want to help those people sell those
Hmm.
houses and get into their transition mode.
Yeah,
I love seeing the look on a buyer's face when they get keys
yeah,
on that first house. Like it's just a moment you're a part of that they're always going to remember, and you're going to
yeah,
remember it too.
yeah,
Uh, but I think, yeah, we're going to continue to grow the team. I ideally would like to have a team large enough that I can train and become
yeah.
maybe full-time mentor. I'd
Mhm.
like to be a full-time mentor and just kind of help the first-time buyers out that I want to, like, hey, I want to go out and help these first-time kids that have never bought a house that need to get
Yeah,
into the grant programs or,
yeah.
and then give back a little more to the community as well.
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of people end up thinking, oh, it's just buying a house, and then there's like a full spectrum of people. There are some people are like, oh, it's just buying a house, let's just do it. And then there is a spectrum on the other end. It's like, I don't think I will ever be able to buy a house, and,
Yeah.
and they are pretty well qualified, and they probably might do well by owning a house.
Yeah,
Uh,
and it's crazy to see. Like I've had a transaction recently where it was a couple that they reached out about a property that they just kind of threw it at me and said, "This is ideally what we would like to upgrade to eventually." And
mhm.
within 2 weeks, we were under contract on this property and selling
Yeah,
their current home, and it was fast. We did it
yeah,
within 2 weeks, got it all
yeah,
done. But watching them transition from that first home where all their kids were brought home to
yeah.
and moving into this new home and all their kids being so young was just something really special to be a part of.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's just amazing how many times we just think the real estate transaction is too complicated, and then once we start doing it, it's like, oh yeah, it's done. It's like just took 30 days, and we did make a big life change, and the life is much better now.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there are people out there that once we served our clients, and we hit the closing table, they never talk to them again, and that's unfortunate. I try to stay in touch with all of my clients.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's fun to see how they, turn that house into their own and make it a
Oh
home for
yeah.
them and their families. So,
Yeah, yeah, and it's an amazing experience, and it's a great journey to go through and live and own a home. Like this, just the sense of stability that home ownership gives is just second to none. So yeah,
yeah,
and like
absolutely.
as we come closer to end of this episode, I always like to like open up the floor and like share any other thoughts that you would like to share with your clients as well as your teammates.
Yeah, as far as potential buyers go, don't wait on the interest rates to drop. It's
Yeah,
just buy them now because waiting is going to cost you thousands, like tens
yeah.
of thousands potentially, depending on where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
Sellers, don't be scared of it. There's still buyers out there for all of the houses. We
Yeah.
can get somebody for you. I mean, there's somebody for everybody. It's very much out there.
Yeah,
As far as my teammates, colleagues, everybody else in the business, just stick with it. Just I know there's been a lot of change in the last year with how we do our business.
yeah,
Just be honest, be truthful, and just be genuine with people, and we'll all be okay.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And although you did mention this within a couple of sentences, but there's just so much thought process and so much insight into that. A lot of people overcomplicate things.
Yeah,
Don't try to do everything. Just focus on what you're good at, what you like to do, and everything works out. And for the clients, it's like, yeah, purchasing or selling a property is a big transaction in anybody's life. There is major life impacts to it. But if you're holding yourself back, saying, I don't want to do this thing. This is just too complicated. I think we can. That's where we step in and say, how do we simplify this and make it easy?
right. That's what we're here for. That's our job is to
Yeah,
walk you through the process, hold your hands on
yeah,
both sides of the coin, sellers or buyers, and just
yeah,
walk you off those ledges when you see those moments you think, oh God, this is it. We're not going to get this house or we're not
yeah,
going to sell. Like, no, we will. We'll get you through it. That's our job.
yeah,
Let us
yeah,
work with the other agents and take on all that and
yeah,
keep it as
yeah.
stress free for them as possible.
Yeah, makes sense. So, yeah, as we come close to the end of this episode, what's the best way people can reach you?
Yeah, so you can reach us obviously by going to coldwellbanker.com and looking up my name, Josh White. That'll
Hmm.
bring you to our webpage. My personal phone number is 513-518-5478. Text me, call me. I always have it with me. It doesn't go away. I can be reached on my email at josh.white@cbrealty.com. And you can find us on Facebook or Instagram under J&J Solutions Group.
Sweet, that's a beautiful name. As we come close to the end of this episode, I wanted to thank you for taking your precious time in the middle of the day and like spending time with us, enlightening us, getting us to know more about the region and what's the right way to approach buying a house as well as selling a house in today's market.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. And I greatly appreciate you reaching out and inviting me to be able to do this. It was an honor.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot, Josh.
That's a wrap on today's episode of Main Street Minds. Want to share your journey with our audience? Head over to mainstreetmindspodcast.com/guest to apply.